I don't want to hear no amens when I say this. Keep them to yourself. There are plenty of people in this room who like to call me out on a certain flaw of mine. I don't even need laughs. And there's multiple different people who call out the same flaw about me. And that simple flaw is I have horrible communication skills as it relates to getting back to people who have shot me a text. And I could blame it on how busy I am, and I could blame it on how absent-minded I am, and those are all valid. But at the end of the day, the reason why it gets on my nerves when my sister says something to me is because she right. It only take a second. Most of the time, I look at the text message and don't even respond. Like, I be meaning to, but I just don't. I don't know what, I just be like, as if she's in the room with me and she knows that I got it. But because communication is two ways, when I got it, I need to communicate that I got it. I just stepped into something. Because communication goes backwards and forwards, it makes no sense if I just get it and I don't respond with I got it. So it's only a problem if she tells me, why don't you ever answer my text messages, and I continue to argue my justification. Knowing she right, Lord. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get nobody in trouble. I'm just talking about me. It's something about our inconsistent propensity that when we like lash it out on everybody else and then it turns back in our face, we can't handle it. We can't handle it. Anybody ever argued an argument just to have the last word? I'm talking about conflict. I'm talking about the point in your argument where you realize the argument should have been over right there. That was actually the end of it right there. But because it's me you talking to. We just can't end it right there. I gotta see, here's the thing, there's always a but. There's always a but. But the problem is when you live your life looking at the buts, you don't move forward. That's right. What do you mean? The buts are always behind you. And when you live your life always looking at the butt, it's hard for you to move forward. I'm talking argument. I'm still in the middle of an argument. The argument says that this can be solved if I just stop, look at me, assess me, and then deal with the me that I've assessed. I learned this in psychology. Most of the times in the middle of an argument, there's always a period in the argument where there's always divinely an opportunity to solve it. Always. You've ever been in an argument that goes 100 miles an hour and never stops? No. It goes, chills. Then it goes, then it chills. And then it goes. Even when you in a good, boom, it's over, and then it comes back. Because that is that moment that you're supposed to take time to yourself, assess your situation, and then proceed. God will always give you a way of escape. That's Bible. He'll always present you with an opportunity to escape. And can I go a little bit deeper? Go ahead. That opportunity is God. Let me just deal with that real quick. The opportunity that he gives you to solve problems is him. How does he give me that opportunity? Because the word Yahweh comes from, it comes from inhaling and exhaling. When you're in the middle of an argument, in the middle of your argument, you ever just took a deep breath and it was like, That's how you reset yourself. That's how you get yourself together.
Yeah.
That's where the word Yahweh comes from. Inhale, exhale. And so God always gives you Him.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That was too deep for y'all.
Yeah.
That was too deep. I didn't make that up. Y'all research the word Yahweh. Listen. So I was born in this thing. He knew me before I was born in my mother's womb. He knew me. He called me. He predestined me. And nobody told me that before I came to the realization of the call that I would be emerged in a whole lot of other stuff that would be counterproductive to the call. But He called me before I was emerged in that stuff. But nobody told me that even though He called me before, I was still going to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it again. I was already emerged in some stuff. And nobody told me that even though He predestined me, that even though He was already sanctifying me, I still had to deal with conflict. Some conflict that you're trying to find out where it came from, you're not going back far enough.
Wow. Wow.
You were birthed in the middle of conflict. Oh man. I'll say for me. So my dad died about 3 years ago, 2 years. I don't know when it was. It was 2.5, 3 years. Anyway, I didn't really know him, right? And so when I went to the wake, everybody was waiting for me to pull up on the scene because everybody was like, I need to see if this dude looks like him. So I remember pulling up to the wake and everybody was like outside, like waiting till I pulled up. And I was thinking to myself, why is people so fascinated with who I am and how I look? And I remember getting out of my car and some people who I now know are my aunties, that as soon as I stepped out the car, she started crying. And she started crying because she said, he looks just like him. Oh, wow.
Wow.
He looks just like him. Then I crept around the corner and I saw my other sister. And even in my own self, without knowing her, I looked at her and I said, I guarantee you that's one of my sisters. Because she looked like me. All of this time, I had been dealing with who I am and dealing with what I am. I wanted to meet my dad because I wanted to be able to answer some questions about who I was and what I was dealing with. I never got the opportunity to ask my dad the questions I wanted to ask him. Like, Dad, why do I have problem with women?
Yeah, come on.
Dad, like I wanted to know, are you an angry person? Are you an inconsistent? I'm pretty inconsistent, Dad. I just wanted to ask him certain questions because you got to go back further to know who you really are. So I wanted to ask him questions, but he died 2 weeks before I was supposed to ever meet him. And I feel like it was God saying, you got to go back further than that. Them ain't the answers you see. So I meet him, and I remember they made everybody move to the back while I came to see my dad. And I had a 2-minute conversation with him. And in the casket, I said, I never wanted to ask you for no money. I never wanted to ask you why anything. I just wanted you to know the type of person I turned out to be. That was all. Because I turned out to just be a really good dude. Like, I turned out to be awesome. And I just wanted you to know, man, like, you got an awesome kid out here, bro. Like, and that was it, right? And I never got an opportunity to ask him that hard question. And then something came out. Standing outside, I'm going somewhere.